Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is SASS, and today we are talking about the Path of Exile to 0.2.0H patch notes and a couple of the changes that Path of Exile 2 has seen, all thanks to GGG and their hard work. Of course, we've got a few interesting tidbits to show you today. I've been playing on my Huntress, a solo self-found, for the past week or so here. Really enjoying all of the changes that they've made to the loot and everything. So excited to see what kind of balances they have. They've got a bunch of bug fixes coming in, a little bit of content fixing for the end game, as well as some other new features as well, quality of life stuff. So pretty exciting stuff coming up here in the next patch. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and of course thank you for all of the views and the shares and everything like that, and all the likes on the last few videos. We've been doing really well on those, so I will be continuing to release these patch notes videos as well as some other updates and stuff. I've also got another video coming that will be going over my entire adventure of my solo self-found with my Huntress, over a lot of the loot stuff that is dropped out for my character, as well as the progression that I've seen so far. So stay tuned on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, and so you can stay up to date on everything Path of Exile 2. Don't forget to follow us over on Twitch. The best way to support the channel is a subscription over there. If you'd also like to support us over on Patreon, we've also got all of the links down in the description below. Don't forget to join the Discord so you can hang out and chit chat with us about Path of Exile 2. Yeah, without further ado, let's dive on in. Let's see what's changed. Alrighty, here we are once again. Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, got some really good changes here from GGG. They've been working hard, getting a few things out, fixing a bunch of bugs and stuff. Seen a lot of quality of life fixes as well, fixing a lot of the optimization issues that we've seen over on console as well as on the PC for some people. So always good to see that GGG is continuing to put out these little patch updates. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive in here. 0.2.0H patch notes. Starting off with the features. They introduced the Ritual Stash tab to the microtransaction store. These will be set for sale momentarily after the patch is deployed. Introduced the Socketable Stash tab to the microtransaction store. These will also be set momentarily after the patch is deployed. Of course, two new stash tabs that you can pick up in the store there. Obviously, they are not mandatory, but it is nice to be able to sort your stuff out a little bit easier. So nice to see them dropping a few new tabs in so we can sort a little better. The Flask Stash tab can now store charms, which is a great addition. Flasks, obviously, in that specific stash tab, they don't really take up a whole lot of space, and you're only going to keep around probably a few of the higher level flasks that have like good modifiers on them. So the fact that we can now store charms is a huge bonus. They updated the sorting of gems in the gem stash tab. Really nice to see. It was a little bit of a struggle going, especially through level 1 through 3. The support gems and the skilled gems were all kind of bundled together. So it'll be nice to have those all separated and sorted on their own. They added support to bulk move stacks of currency from one inventory to another on the keyboard and mouse. Highlight the currency using control and right click on your gamepad. Obviously on console, you can press and hold triangle or Y on your controller. So nice to see another little quality of life fix, just making things easier to swap back and forth. Added optional key bindings for quick allocating multi-choice attribute passive skills on keyboard and mouse. Once bound, you can quick allocate attributes by holding down your selected bind when clicking on the passive skill. Gamepad support for this feature will come at a later date. It's a nice little addition. I don't really find this to be a problem, so not much of a bonus for me, but if you guys are having a little bit of struggle on applying the specific passive skills, stuff that you want. This just makes it a little bit easier. They added an unidentified item tier as a filter option for item filters. So again, just adding more quality of life, making it easier to filter out the items that you do not want, and highlighting the ones obviously that you do want to pick up. This is going to be really helpful in the end game, as the unidentified item tiers were not something that you could filter in or filter out. Added a quick use currency buttons to the strong boxes and monsters imprisoned in instances. These buttons will only be visible if you have the currency items in your inventory. So this is a nice little touch, something that kind of is really annoying when you're trying to upgrade your strong boxes or your essences. You gotta open your inventory and then right click on the orb or whatever it is that you want to use to upgrade with. And then obviously you got to click on the strong box. So this just makes it a little bit easier. You'll have a little window underneath the strong box or the essence name. You'll see the little modifiers, and then there will be just a quick click that you can select to spend an orb. Added an outline to the labels on expedition chests, precursor tablets, and expedition logbooks. So again, nice little UI update there. Added a quick travel to town button on the world map UI when interacting with a waypoint. You can find this on the right hand side of the screen. So this is a nice little touch. You don't have to scroll all the way back to your main area when you want to go back to town when you're in the world map. So again, just making things a little bit quicker, a little easier. I love the little UI upgrades. Obviously, anything that makes the game easier to engage with is a positive in my books. Right, moving on to balance. We've got a few little things here that they've added in for some balance. Looks like some loot upgrades. They significantly buffed the drop rates of greater and perfect jeweler orbs. This is a great change. I have not seen a single greater or perfect jeweler orb at all. I thought that we could combine the lower level jeweler orbs to upgrade into greater and perfect, obviously. But you barely find any of them to begin with, so combining them is just kind of pointless because you're going to end up using them to upgrade your current skills so that you can at least get one extra support slot on that skill. They reduced the required level for level 20 uncut skills and spirit gems to begin dropping. This was the primary reason why they were so infrequently dropping, so you should now see a lot more of them when running the highest tiers of endgame maps. This is a nice little addition. I've only ever found one level 20 uncut skill gem, and that came out of a randomized strong box, so the little spin to win drop box. Nice little change there just to make those skill and spirit gems a little bit easier to get your hands on. The Asmiri spirits of the spring hare and fox are now approximately 3 times more common. I don't think I've ever seen the spring hare or fox Asmiri spirits. I've definitely seen the gorilla and was the other one, the bear, I think. I've fought those quite often. I believe there's a stag one as well that I've fought. So this is a nice little adjustment just to make those spirits a little bit easier to find. They disabled the greed and corruption shrines. Obviously, greed shrines were something when you selected them and made all of your drops turn into gold. And then obviously the corruption shrines just corrupted every single item that dropped, both of which were just kind of pointless when you're looking for loot because you can only collect so much gold before it kind of becomes pointless. And having corrupted items that aren't, you know, super high tier with all the greatest items or modifiers that you want on them basically makes items that are corrupted unusable. So getting rid of those shrines is nice to see. Not sure if they're going to bring those back at some point or make some adjustments, but them just being gone to begin with, nothing wrong with that. I adjusted the damage timing on the meteoric shrine to match the visuals. So just making that one a little bit more apparent as to when it is actually being activated during battle. Adjusted the buff durations for the following shrines to 60 seconds, so that it's the meteoric, freezing, tempest, and gloom. So those are going to last a little bit longer. And adjusted the buff durations for the following shrines to 90 seconds. Acceleration, seeking, massive, replenishing, and lightning, resistance, and diamond. So again, making them last a little bit longer, just making them more effective. Shrines, again, I've found 1 or 2 of them here and there. When I do select them, it seems like I run around for 30 seconds after getting it, and then they just disappear. And it's like, I didn't even really get to use them effectively. So this just gives you a lot more opportunity to put those shrines to good use. And they've increased the rate at which diamond and divine shrines get spawned. So again, two of the best shrines that you can get, they now have a higher rate of spawning. So awesome to see. It's just going to make that end game content a lot more fun to play. Hopefully we'll be able to find some of these with the new update when we do our testing. All right, miscellaneous content changes. They've improved the behavior of breach monsters spawning in narrow and tight areas. So hopefully this will make blocking and getting shoved into corners and surrounded just a little less often. Improve the behavior of how breach monsters spawn. This should drastically improve the minimum experience of the encounter, especially in areas that had tight corridors or hallways. Apparently, if there's a certain amount of space, they just will not spawn at all. So hopefully this will spread them out a little bit more along those hallways so that you can actually get to your breach maximum and continue the breach. The minimum encounter time of a breach is now 20 seconds, originally 12. The rate at which time extends in the encounter now takes into account the monster power of slain breach demons. This means if you kill a magic or rare enemies during the breach, it will extend the time more than killing normal monsters. This obviously makes it more effective. If you're going to take your time and fight a magic or a rare monster, it takes a little bit longer. That burns up some of your breach time. So because you're burning up more time, you're getting a better reward from that. Breach splinters that drop during an encounter are now automatically collected and dropped at your location when the breach concludes. If you're in a party, it will drop multiple stacks that are randomly allocated. You can see a small notification above your character whenever a breach splinter is now collected, similar to gold. So again, just a nice little quality of life fix so you don't have to go running around collecting up those splinters, or in previous cases where you would have to stop your combat, waste some time in the breach so that you can make sure you pick up those splinters. You don't have to run back, try and find them all again. This basically just vacuums them all up and spits them out when the breach ends. So nice little change. Very, very awesome. Rogue Exiles now have a minimap icon once they enter combat. This should make them a little bit easier to find and a little easier to see as well. I know when everything is just kind of like going all over the place, it's hard to tell when a Rogue Exile actually steps into combat. They've also improved the lighting on Rogue Exiles to make them easier to spot, especially in darker areas. And they also fixed an issue where Rogue Exiles would frequently begin combat with a player from off screen. So again, just making some of that random content like the Rogue Exiles easier to find, easier to see, and easier to battle. There's nothing worse than getting hit by a random lightning bolt or a little slam or something like that from one of the Rogue Exiles as we even see them coming. So this is a nice little adjustment just to make that combat a little bit more fair. They improved the visual effects of the Arbiter of Ash's Flame Corridor skill, specifically the brightness and timing, to make it easier to see quicker. So making that Arbiter of Ash fight feel a little bit more fair. I know the Flame Corridor skill is something that can one-shot you, so you have to really pay attention and make sure that you're being careful as to where you're rolling to or moving into. And so this is just going to make that a little bit easier to manage, hopefully taking away the unfairness of that fight. Engaging a second Asmirian Wisp while already following one will have the second Asmirian Wisp follow the same target as the first. So this is going to help big time so you're not wasting your Atlas skill points upgrading your Asmirian Wisps. If you come across two of them, they're going to follow the same path, and then you'll have two Asmirian creatures at the end, the two rares. You'll be able to fight them both rather than one of the wisps just going off in another direction and you're pretty much wasting those skill points. So this is a really nice change. They added Spectre and Tame Beast skills as outcomes to the Prism of Belief unique jewel. A nice little change there, obviously adding in those new skills. And they added 132 more foiled unique item options that the Twilight Reliquary can yield. So again, adding some really cool items that you can get in the Twilight Reliquary. That's obviously one of the best ways that you can find unique items. So 132 more. So get out there and find those reliquary keys so that you can go and unlock yourself some fancy schmancy loot. And finally, we have some bug fixes here for you. GGG's been hard at work cleaning everything up. Fixed various bugs with the social panels, which resulted in inconsistent display of friends and guild members and a lack of clarity as to who's online or offline. This little QOL there. Adjusted the location of a checkpoint in Jakani's Machinarium to prevent skipping the area's quest requirements. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever had that happen, but nice little bug. All fixed up. Fixed a bug where life scaling applied by difficulty didn't scale poise threshold of monsters. Let me read that again. Fixed a bug where life scaling applied by difficulty didn't scale poise threshold of monsters. Oh, okay. Interesting. So the life would scale up or down, but the poise threshold would not. Fixed a bug where some endgame maps couldn't spawn chests. Obviously, that probably came in when they adjusted the chest amounts and rarities. Fixed a bug where Oasis maps sometimes could not be completed. Fixed a bug where also a Rust Bowl map sometimes could not be completed. So two nice little fixes there for the endgame. Fixed a rare case where parts of the Atlas could fail to load. That's obviously not good if you're trying to complete your Atlas map. Prevented Gorian, the moving Earth, from spawning in the Megalith unique map, as it could cause issues for subsequent boss waves. Oh, interesting. So Gorian will no longer spawn on the Megalith unique map. Interesting. I wonder where that issue is coming from. Fixed a bug where the finality passive notable skill couldn't be instilled on amulets. Fixed a bug where empowered runes in the Ezomite Megalith's map became uninteractable if you left the area before interacting with them. Oof, that's pretty rough. Nice little fix there. And they fixed a bug where modifiers to skill speed were not affected by skittering catalysts. And they fixed Overwhelming Presence's stats not being displayed when hovering over the gem. And fixed an issue where books of unique knowledge incorrectly displayed that they granted 5 Atlas skill points. They always have and continue to grant 2 Atlas passive skill points per book used. Fixed a bug where using a skill immediately after entering an area could cause the skill to fail to execute properly. And they fixed a bug in the gem stash tab where some gems would be incorrectly found in the level 1 category. Oh, I think I've had that happen quite often, where I've just got like a pile of gems sitting in level 1, even though they're not level 1 gems. And they fixed 6 instance crashes. Wow, okay, very nice. And fixed 10 client crashes. So again, just upgrading some more of that optimization. Hopefully that has fixed the majority of the crashes that we've seen, because as we all know, there's nothing worse than fighting your way through a map and then all of a sudden you get a big crash and it just kicks you out of the map. You lose all of your work that you've done, or you lose whatever loot you have on the ground. So again, good job GGG fixing those and finding those little crash bugs and cleaning them up. All right, so obviously not a huge patch this time. Some new features, a little bit of balance coming in for some of the drop rates and whatnot, and a couple of bug fixes there as well. Nice to see that they are continuing to balance things out, especially with the loot and some of the end game features. Obviously nothing to shake a stick at, but it's progression all the same. GGG moving us in a much better direction than where we were at when 0.20 first launched. That first start of Dawn of the Hunt was pretty rough, so it's really nice to see how far we've come so far. The upgrade to the loot has been a massive change. I know that for myself. It's really made a big difference. I've been playing solo self-found on my Huntress, and I have not found the need to transfer over to Trade League and try and do any trading. I've got plenty of runes and plenty of orbs and stuff to spend. I think I've gotten, in my first run through of just like the first 3 acts, I think I've gotten like 14 or 15 exalts, which is really nice. And before, I think I was getting like 3 or 4. So it's been nice to be able to play around with some loot a little bit and craft a few things. The ground loot has also been much better. I ended off the first 3 acts with 7 unique items, one of which I'm wearing, a really nice little helmet that's been helping out my Huntress. And I've gotten a bunch of really good rare drops as well. Obviously I'm running the Ritualist with the unfurled fingers, so I've gotten a couple of really nice little ring drops that have been helping me out big time. I can't wait to get my next 2 ascension points so that I can get that upgrade to rings as well. But yeah, overall, just some really good work that they've been doing there. I'm loving the upgrades so far. Obviously, there's still a really long road ahead of us. There's plenty of work still to be done, but GGG doing a great job with this update and with previous updates as well. I've got high hopes for the future of this game and high hopes for the development team to continue iterating and just balancing things out and making it that much better for us. Well, that's all we have for you today, folks. Thank you all for watching and thank you all for listening along. I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to check out the patch notes for yourself, I will have it linked down in the description below. You can click on that and check out all of the changes on your own there. Don't forget to stop by the Discord and say hi. Of course, we talk about Path of Exile 2 over there, chit chat about things. You can also stay up to date on everything that I've got coming up on the channels. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us over on Twitch. Best way to support the channel is a subscription over on Twitch, or you can support us through Patreon as well. Links down in the description below. Make sure you mark your calendars for May 23rd, 2025. We're going to have a really cool event. Painted Grail, The Fall of Avalon is going into version 1.0, and we will be doing a subathon over on Twitch where we run for a minimum of 12 hours. Every sub, every bit, every cheer, all that stuff, all the support you guys throw towards the channel is going to add on to the timer, and we are going to keep on going until that timer runs out. So if you like to support the channel, that'll be a great day to do it. May 23rd, Painted Grail, The Fall of Avalon 1.0. So keep an eye out for that. Now, what did you guys think of the new patch 0.2.0H for Path of Exile 2? Do you think they did a good job? Do you think this is enough that they've been doing in each of these small little patch updates as we've been going along? And what are you looking forward to most in 0.30? Let me know down in the comments section below. That's all we have for you today. Thank you all for watching. I've been SASS, and this has been another Path of Exile 2 update. We will see you all next time. Happy hunting, survivors.